Morning, everybody. Shit, man, I literally hung up from a conference call. Literally hung up from a conference call at 9:45. Jesus, sorry about that. Literally hung up from a conference call at 9:45. All right, so let's see what we got going on here. Well, we went inside. We went inside the box here, and NQ's off running. Also at 9:45, ES is off running. Oh shit, Ryan, my shit works, but I use Kinetic. I use Kinetic data. I don't use anything from Ninja. Shoot, where's my strategy? I bet it's not even loaded. Sorry about this, guys. I'm just not up and running yet. Where's my strategy? Oh, it's over here. It didn't have my account loaded in. No wonder. I couldn't get it to pull up because it didn't have my account loaded in. I'm happy to see you too, Nadine. Oh my God. So right now we're sitting on the top of the bottom. This is a precarious situation. We're sitting on the top of the bottom of the 15-minute range box here in gold. And it's going up and hitting the mid band and getting knocked back down. So we're caught in a spaghetti factory right here with gold. Well, I'm going to tell you something. If you guys are having platform problems today or whatnot, that's actually today's probably the best day to have that problem because it is interest rate day. So I don't expect the market to be doing much today after we get through the open because they're going to start laying around waiting for the news on rates. So today's probably the best day of the week to have your stuff not working. Probably the best day of the week to have your stuff not working. Boy, the ES has just been banging on the top of the prior day high. See how hard today they've been trying to keep price above yesterday's high? That's what I talk about. I've talked about this before. This is just observation of the moment while I'm looking at this, but it's the highs and the lows that you will find the biggest battle tends to be to keep price either north of the high or south of the low. And if you look right here on the ES, and remember the ES is the most liquid. The ES is the most liquid of all these instruments that we're looking at. And look at the battle right here to keep price above the high. You know, and the ES is by far the most liquid of all of them. Anyways, they're battling it at the RTY too right now. Shit. Yeah, it's you got to be careful with it because you can get punched in the head. But for example, now that we're inside it, it's gonna want to go this way out the back, out the top of it. But one of the things about this box too, by the way, just for you guys to know, one of the rules of thumb, and I'm just going to throw it out there, but one of the rules of thumb on this 15-minute range box is if price immediately, which this is immediately, this is after this box was formed, if price immediately comes out of the box, either north or south, doesn't matter, that's normally a long, or that's normally an entry. And this one here went, Jesus, man, how many points? 10, 15 points to the downside. Yeah, over 15 points to the downside. But it's usually, if it's the immediate candle coming either out of the top of the box or out of the bottom of the box, immediate, meaning like not 2 minutes into it, but like literally the minute after the box closes, then it's usually, you know, jump on board time because this thing's going to fall in this case, or come straight out of the box. But, you know, the guy who trades that, who kind of gave me this whole thought process on how to trade this, I mean, he's trading with a lot of capital, and he's kind of like Jim. He doesn't really care. He doesn't want to lose money, but he doesn't really care if he hits this hard out of this box and it rolls back up and takes his money. He doesn't really care because he's so confident in what he's doing, he's going to get his money back somewhere else. Am I making sense? I mean, there's just, you know, it's kind of like how I've kind of gotten in my trading. I'm not really that concerned. As long as the market's rotating and doing its things, I'm not that concerned about taking a loss. Unlike yesterday, the market wasn't rotating, it wasn't doing things, so I was concerned to even take a trade because I can't recover from a loss if the market's not doing things. If the market's doing things and rotating and listen, man, I'm all in, because if I get snapped in the head, I can get the money back. But when it's a turd, when the market is a turd, you know, I'm not that interested in getting my head snapped. All right, so let's go to the RTY for a second here. Holy shizzle. Right here, the RTY is doing this at the same time the YM is holding the prior day close. So there's definitely a potential long here, because they're both trying to go long. Man, I'm gonna back down for a second. This is getting too far down here for me right now. I'm gonna back down for a second. I'm gonna wait. We'll see if we get an inside candle here. Just sit, RTY, sit, boo-boo. Sit, inside candle, please, inside candle. All right, this is going out the top. See that? This is going out the top. But this is not following. Damn. All right, I'm going to step back again. Man, the YM started going out the top, but the RTY didn't follow it. So that's what probably was what dragged this back down. Edwin, if your Ninja is freezing, you might need to clean your cache. You might want to clean your cache. Thanks, Amelia. Oh, so all of you are frozen? Who's your data source? Are you guys prop firm trading or what is it? Because my data's, I don't have a data problem. I'm not freezing anything today so far, other than my arse, because it is cold here. Yeah, I'll get Nadine. Don't let me forget. I'll look that up in a minute. I don't have that chart up right now. Okay, all right. So yeah, then you're having a data problem. Yeah, my personal is fine too. I'm not having any data problems. Okay. Shit, Ryan, I don't know. Again, like I said, man, if your data is not working today, today's the best day of the week for it to not be working. Today is the best day of the month. Today is the best day of the month for it to not be working. How about that? Not just the best day of the week, the best day of the month for your stuff to not be working is today. Ah, shit. I bet Jim caught this red line. Jim, did you catch this red line? Fuck, why was I not looking? Why was I not looking? Why was I not looking? Or that gold line, I'm sorry. God damn it. Shit, this freaking gold line right here, this 5-minute gold line right there was the bam. Good job, Gene. Did you catch that 5-minute gold line, Gene? Oh, dude. If it freezes, I go when it happens to me, Bruce, I go straight to the source. So like I right here on my screen, you guys don't see it, but I have Ninja live on my screen too. So if I get stuck in a trade, I can go right in there and I can force the trade to get canceled. Good job, Gene. God, yeah, damn it. I was freaking not paying attention. Well, I'm such a freaking idiot, man. I was not paying attention. You had a beautiful smooth pullback right to that gold line and boom, it's gone. Yeah, exactly, Gene. You took the words out of my mouth. You took the words right out of my mouth, Gene. Smooth pullback. Exactly. Fuck. God dang it. Fart. Damn it. Stupid Bob. I got caught trying to catch that RTY trade because it was rotating. And it just didn't rotate. And of course, when I pull the charts down, I can't see gold anymore. Look at that thing go. Fuck. God, I'm an idiot. Yeah, Gene, that's it. That especially to the long side. If you'll notice lately, Gene, to the long side with gold, You get that crossover from that red line, you get that pullback to that 5-minute gold line, and it's just been printing money, man. That exact setup. Yeah, that's why I'm saying if that happens to me, Thumper, I go straight into, in my case, because I'm live, I go straight into Ninja via my website. And when I used to use Apex, I would go straight into Apex's website and close. They have a place to do it. It probably is, Gene. What I'm hoping is we come back and test the top of the box here first, so I can get an entry. Really? Wow, that's pretty bad. Now, I have found in the past when that happens with, I don't know what brokerage firm you're using, but I have found in the past when that shit's happened at Apex, they've gone out and cleared the account and put you back at even as your day starts. That's what they've done in the past. I don't know about these other prop firms. Oh, okay. Well, you benefited from it. That's good. Come on. Come on, gold. So frustrating. I'm excited for you though, Gene. Isn't that fun when that happens? I think I already read you said you're on cloud 9. Yeah, that is fun when that happens, man. That is fun. God dang, it was just a beautiful rotation. Oh my God. We might get it right here. Come on, keep going. Man, there was a nice rotation in the RTY. I did not take it. Look at that. All just shabam.
336.
I need you calling me like I need a hole in my head. Look at that rotation. I was going to take this, but I'm so focused on gold right now. Look at that. So you had your slam down, your crossover, boom. You should take it at least down to the bottom of the box here. There it goes. Jesus, all in one rotation, just like that. Wing, wing. Look at that. Look at that. Ah, fuck. I'd really like to see that. The Carlton dance. There you go. Excellent, Gene. Excellent. If you've been paying attention, that exact scenario has been happening multiple times this week. That exact scenario where price rotates over that red line and comes and hits that 5-minute gold line and then just takes off. What I want to see right here is that big finger down, if I can get it, to the top of this box. The top of that box is right at 318.80. My mid band is 1220. My bottom of the box is these are all right about at it. 0580. Okay, here's the big. Oh, come on. Or wait, did we get some news or something? Did we get some news or something? So this is really kind of big. Did we get some news? There's not supposed to be any news, but this is kind of violent right here. Holy chichiki. Yeah, that's something else right there. That means something else is going on. Look at that. Holy shit. Yeah, something's going on here. Something's going on in gold that I'm not gonna put my feet in the water on. Something's going on in gold right now that is rather ugly and violent that I'm not going to get in front of. Yes, something. I know there's not news until 2, but I mean, look at gold. Tell me something didn't happen here. Tell me something didn't happen here. Jesus, something's going on. Oh, never underestimate the ability to push the digital currency button. Trader Joe. We're having economic problems. Hey, they went away. We're having economic problems. Hey, they went away. It's just feeding a heroin addict some more freaking heroin. Maybe profit taking. I don't know. That was some viciousness right there. I mean, that thing dropped 30, 40, 50, 60 points in 2 candles. Over 60 points in 2 candles. Somebody's talking? Okay. Yeah, because it was 60 points in 2 candles. That's $6,000 a contract. For those of you that don't know the math on that thing, that's $6,000 a contract. Oh, wait. Is it 60? I'm brain dead. There's 30. That's 3. Yeah, that's $6,000. So I'm going to wait on gold now until it gets some kind of normalcy again, because there's no sense in getting in the middle of that freight train, at least not with a full contract like I've got. Man, did anybody take that RTY trade? Did anybody take that? I know a lot of people are having data problems, but did anybody take that trade? What a beautiful trade. Jesus, that again, just like yesterday, the RTYs had the best setup. Yesterday it had a beautiful setup. I hit it. Today I didn't, but I mean, just beautiful, beautiful setup, smooth rotation. Good job, Nadine. Smooth rotation. I'm telling you, if you just pay attention to the RTY, I mean, when it does stuff like that, it's like butter. Yeah, not only is it nitro pill stuff, but it's like, even if you think gold is going to rotate, for example, once it goes up to the red line, when the candles itself that all that stuff's going on with are 30, 40 ticks, god dang. You can get snapped real fast. Excuse me. So Gene nailed that beautiful gold trade. Nadine nailed that beautiful RTY trade. And Bob sat here picking his nose. Yeah, the gold. I'm afraid of gold today. I'm afraid of gold today, to be honest with you. This, like, for example, this one candle right here is 88. Oh my God, are you kidding me? This candle is 80 to 94. Are you kidding me? That candle is 80 to 94. That's insane. Well, I taught you so you could see things just like that, Nadine, and teach a man to fish, he can feed himself for a lifetime. If I just took the trade and said, I'm enter here and don't tell you why, then, when I drop dead in a week, you're not going to feed yourself. Jesus, man, that's just, it's hard to believe that these candles are that big. It is just hard to believe. See, what happens is the charts, constrict to so that the candles look basically the same regardless if they're big or small. You have to actually look at the candle and go, wait, this one starts here and it goes there. What? You know what I mean? This candle right here starts at 87. It is currently at 98. 11 points. This one candle right here, just a random candle. Just a random candle. Is 11 points, over 11 points. That is some insanity. Gold is starting to turn into the NQ with more ticks and $10 a tick versus 5. I mean, it's getting scary. It's getting scary. You're going to have some liquidity behind you to trade this. And yes, I did check my Ninja. It is $500. Not 500. It is $1,000 for me to put a contract on now. Remember, I've been bitching for the last, 2 months, but probably at least a month. I said they've got to raise the collateral requirement for a contract because $500 doesn't make any sense. Even $1,000 doesn't make sense at this point. There's a setup right there. That was a setup right there, right off the red line, right there. I'm just so scared now. I don't even want to take it. There was a rejection right there off the red line, right there. We went through it by about a tick. But here's the deal. So look at this.
Unknown caller.
This is what I'm talking about. So you got a high right here on this candle of 301. You've got a low on this candle of 88. You're not even getting into this thing until 87. That's some amazing rotations. Yeah, look at the ES rejection of the prior day high. Fire. Anybody see that? You got a crossover retest rejection of the prior day high right there. That should rotate down right to here. If anybody took that. You're in it, recovery? Good job. That's I ended up doing that without making it a goal, Gene. I just it's really weird, but I just randomly one day said I'm done dealing with these prop firms. Not that I hate them or like them. It's just, and I went and opened up my account with Ninja, transferred over $5,000, and had no idea that Jim had done the same thing. I just know that he'd been messaging me some frustrations with the prop firms that he'd been having, and but I had no idea that he just said to hell with it, and he went and did it on his own, and I had done the same thing. But I think I did it after him, in reality. Come on, ES. Roll over, man. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, FOMC later, definitely. I started with 5. Yeah, I started with 5, Gene, So, Gene, I started with 5, and I started just doing some, like daily announcements or whatever, and then of course I started live a little bit after I did this. But I went into it very conservatively, again, okay. And Jim did the same thing. All right. Just so you understand, even though he's out there doing crazy stuff right now in gold. But he did the same thing. And his was to put $200, as soon as he cleared $200, call it a day. He did that for like weeks, just building it from $5,000 to $10,000 and then, whatever. And I did the same thing. I went into it with, I'm going to make $1,000 a week. That's what my target is. My goal is. And I did that every week except 1 week. I ended up for like 2 months, 3 months, whatever. I did the $1,000 a week, except 1 week. I ended up at like $950 or something like that. And then when I started this year, I just made the thought process that I'm going to start looking for bigger targets now and that kind of stuff, since I had some capital built up, blah, blah, blah. And, But I was taking draws out too, which I probably shouldn't have been doing at the time. I kept taking my money and running it up, and then I was taking draws out. And I probably shouldn't have been, looking back on it, I probably shouldn't have been doing that, because all it did was hinder me from developing further. And so now I'm more aggressive about the trades I take and what my targets are and that kind of stuff. Because I have some money to play with. But again, the market has to be. I'm saying a lot of things here. I still have the mindset that the market has to be showing me that it works for me to be aggressive. That's why yesterday I was very lackluster in trading, because the market was, it was a piece of shit. That RTY trade that I took yesterday was really the best trade that I saw all day. And the one that happened today at 10:05 was I just totally freaking missed it. But that was a beautiful RTY trade also. But that would probably be the only trade I would take all day is that RTY trade, because I don't expect much out of the market today, considering today is FOMC day. And then go back to my favorite instrument to be making money in right now is gold. Well, the problem with that is, holy shit, because the swings are just ridiculous. The swings in gold right now are just ridiculous. But I will say this about gold. I've been looking at the bid ask over here, and it has tightened up. Yesterday, the bid ask were so big, I didn't even. Yeah, the margins aren't a problem, because like right now the margin in the margin in gold is $1,000. It was $500 when I opened up my account. Now it's $1,000. The margins on RTY, YM, and ES are $500 a contract. NQ is $1,000 a contract. So I mean, if you got $5,000, you got plenty of money to take trades. Potential YM trade. Okay, so fuck. Here's the deal with the YM. Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Somebody just messaged potential YM trade. Here's the problem with the YM right now. RTY is in an upswing right now, and it does not have resistance. The YM does have resistance. I'm not as confident that this is going to work, because this is rotating up. That's just my thought right now. I wish this had gone. I wish this was up here. Bid ask lesson. Okay. On if you're trading Ninja, or you can even get a DOM, put a DOM on your chart. There is right here on this, so right here on the RTY. I'll show it to you right here. For example, can I blow this up? Right here, you got a bid. That's what the buyers are at, and an ask. And what I do is I glance at the spread between the bid and the ask, and you want that to be tight. You don't want it to be wide apart. You want the bid and the ask to be tight, so you're not getting a lot of slippage in your buying and your selling. So especially on your stop losses. So yesterday in gold, I was very concerned, because the spread on the big bid ask were like 5, 6, 7 ticks. And when you're 6, 7 ticks, you're talking $600 that you could get slippage on if you're doing a market order, for example, or on your stop loss by the time it gets executed. And, you're already trying to be conservative on how much money you're going to lose. Well, when you think your loss is going to be $100 and it turns out to be $160, that hurts even more. So a bid ask, and also the bigger the spread in the bid ask, the more confident you should be in the volume is light. And if the volume's light, just not a good time to trade the instrument unless you got some money, unless you have money. If you have money and you can weather the storm of losses, that's fine. You know what I mean? Notice, by the way, whoever was telling me about this trade, notice, see, it's this is trying to go long because it's on top of the 9 EMA and it's way away from these resistance lines. So it's pushing this back long. That's really what I was trying to say earlier on the RTY versus the YM. Now that YM short, man, I'm telling you, if the RTY had been below the 9 EMA hitting it, and you're hitting that current open at the time, man, take that short, slam it, because they're both in agreement that they're trying to go down. But if one's trying to roll up and the other one's trying to go down, you're going to have a problem most likely. So it'd probably help if I put a freaking chart on, wouldn't it? Let me put a chart on. Damn it. Too many patches. Too many. Screens? Screens. I've got 1, 2, 3. I got 5 screens. I've got 5 screens. And I've got 4 on one computer, 1 on another. This computer can do 6 screens, but I've only got 4 on it. Hell, I barely can figure out how to manage looking at 4. But if you watched my little lesson that I gave in on YouTube a couple days ago or whatever on increasing your win probability, you would recognize what I'm talking about in the correlation between what the RTY situation was at the time and what the YM situation was at the time, and why the YM is probably not going to work. Yeah, here's mine right here. There's mine, and there's you guys over here. So that's my setup. And then of course this one over here. That's on a separate computer, and that one that's on a separate computer is there. It has my Ninja. If I need to go into Ninja because I get stuck in a trade, I can't get out or something, it's right there, so it's on a completely separate computer. I also have it phone ready too, in case the internet goes down, which that has happened to me, where I'm in a trade and the internet goes down. So grab that freaking phone. You better get on the phone with not calling Ninja, but I have the ability to go right on the web through my phone to Ninja and close out a trade. Does that make sense? Because again, you can only lose your money once. You can only lose your money once. So I have all the backups in case, Shit, I think you guys, I know you guys, I've told you the guys that I've been sitting here before too, and I'm in a trade and boom, my power goes out completely, everything, all my power is out and everything. And I'm like, shit, you know. I am looking at CL because we did cross over. We broke this pivot right here. So see, we broke this pivot to the long side. I would like this to pull back right to here and rotate up. That's what I would like to see. Because this down pivot got broken to the long side. So if we can get a pullback here, there might be a setup long. And by the way, going back to I got too many things going on. But see, going back to what I was talking about with the RTY, it rotated on top of this 9. So it was being pushed up. And here's where it's finally reaching resistance. And so we're way out of whack of what was going on with this YM trade. And see, that kept you out of a losing trade. Is it if you paid attention to where the YM was in correlation to where the RTY was. It's not going to be foolproof, but if your contention is to come here and do what I talk about in the sense of taking, 1, 2, 3 trades a day, try to hit, $300, $400, $500 per trade, depending on what you're trying to do, so you can pass your prop firm thing and that kind of stuff, then you probably want to see the correlation so that you're doing it at the optimal time, just like that trade in the RTY earlier today, this one. Because again, I'm telling you folks, it's not about quantity of trades, it's about quality. I mean, I say that 50 freaking times to Sunday, and I understand that even I neglect that sometimes and do stupid shit. But yeah, it's a long setup when this candle closes. It is a long setup, without a doubt. It's exactly the trade that Gene took earlier for, I think, 10 points. It's the exact same trade. Shit. It jumped me. It jumped me. Oh, shit, now I'm in. Fuck, what are you doing? What are you doing, gold? Come on, gold. See, this is what I don't like. The size of the candles are so damn big. Size of the candles are so damn big. Oh, shit. What am I doing? My keyboard got in my way here. Hold on. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Now my freaking chart is stuck. There we go. I had to take the trade over here because if I blow my chart out, I lose stuff on the bottom. Sorry about that. See, I lose all my stuff at the bottom. Jesus. Anyways, I re-entered that trade. Got my money back. But I can't. It's hard to explain. So I'm up $228. I'm up $228. I had to re-enter that trade. I got knocked out because these candles are so large. I've got to do something about my stops. These candles are so large. Either that or I got to go back to micros. Anybody catch that? See, now, see, like things happen at the same time. So let's talk here. Jesus. Okay. Who asked me about the YM trade earlier? Who asked me about the YM trade earlier? I want to point something out to you. Okay. So remember I said I wouldn't take that YM trade because the RTY is going long? Whoever asked that question. Then the RTY came and sat on top of the prior day open and boom, there it is. Why did it do this? Well, because at the same time, the YM had done the same thing. It's now looking to go long. So they both went long. So now they're in agreement. Just crossed over, sat on top of the prior day open, found support, also the 9 EMA, but then boom, off they went long because they're both going the same direction off of support at the same time. And that's literally what just happened. You took it long? Good for you, Larry. Print some money, my friend. Print some money. To be perfectly honest, this is rather lackluster. This is rather lackluster, this rotation long, but it's still doing it. But it is very lackluster. For what instrument, Patch? You talking about the gold thing? You talking about gold? It was more than that. It just happened to be, these candles are so big, Patch. This is my ATM. I just pushed the button, boom, I was out. This is my ATM. I didn't even have a chance to grab my target and move it because I took my stop and I was following up trying to put it at even. These candles are so big. It's ridiculous. So this is coincidence, just so you know. This is pure coincidence. It ended up being fortunate coincidence because it rolled back down. But look at gold. It's just, these candles are so big, I got to reevaluate. I might just go to the micros and do like 4 contracts or something. I mean, it's just crazy. Yeah, and if you've listened to me over the years of doing this or whatever that I've talked about these things, I manage my, so say on a long, see, this is a long, right? I manage my trade from the bottom up. So I manage my trade from my stop loss. Then I take my target and move it. Well, this damn thing just went zing, zing. And I was, so, you know, it was literally my ATM. This is a nice rotation right here. So we finally broke all these pivots, came back, sat on that gold line, and wham, there you are. And here's the crazy part. I'm just going to point this out. This is why I'm saying these candles are so big for you guys to understand. See this inside candle right here? When it got broken through the top, that's 9.6. This thing went to 17.6. That's $800. It's like, what? What? One contract. I mean, these swings in gold right now are just out of control. They really are. It exactly, Patch, exactly. That's why I'm saying, that's why talking out loud, here's the trade right here, which is the one I actually did take. It's the crossover retest of that gold line, red line, all that stuff, breaking these pivots, the long right here. The problem is where my stop should be is below this candle, because this is a red line trade. So I should be protecting the pivot that I rotated from. And my target, for example, 06 should be right up here at 16. And by the way, so just to put it all in perspective, this rotation from here to here is $1,000 a contract. But you would have to protect yourself from here to here, which is $700 a contract. So I have to be willing to defend $700 loss for, say, $1,000 win. Well, that math doesn't really work in my strategy. I want 2-to-1 minimum. That's why I'm saying these candles are so freaking big. Well, that's what I'm talking about, Patch. I've got to figure out how I'm going to tackle this going forward. Am I going to change my ATM, which, by the way, I have two ATMs. I have one that's in this, and I have one that's right here. Okay, and they don't actually agree. Okay, on purpose. And then. So do I change my ATM or do I downgrade to, the micros? I don't know. I have to think about this. These candles really have not been this out of control until like this past week. I mean, this past week is just, because now we're way above $5,000. I mean, this is just insanity. Look at that ES. What a little dog. Anybody see the ES? Broke all these pivots, back up to the prior day high, back down to the prior day low. Anyways. Well, yeah. Yeah. Well, transparency, Treeman, is also, this is kind of funny. I'm gonna make a statement here. Transparency does something mentally to me. It makes me accountable. If I'm transparent with you guys, then I won't sit here and do crazy ass clown shit and lose all my money. That's my point, MB Trader. That's my point, MB Trader. That's exactly my point. What your comment says is exactly my point. So I have to think about this. Like, do I change my instrument? Or do I get even more selective and only look for inside candles? I don't know. I have to think about that. Gold is beyond. I know, is it? And Amelia, it's getting freaking. It's getting to the point where I'll be honest with you. I'm a little bit nervous. Yeah, it used to move 10 points in a whole week. Exactly. That's exactly it. And it had gaps in pricing and shit. That's why I wouldn't trade it. It was better to trade oil. Now oil has limited movement. Oil's still a wonderful instrument. Let's just pull it up for the hell of it. Why not? Let's see what oil's doing. Doesn't seem like oil's doing anything good. I asked American Patriot this. Patriot, are you here? Are they doing inventory today for oil? I can't remember. I asked Patriot this yesterday, and I don't think I got an answer. This might be kind of clownish because they may be they usually do inventory on Wednesdays. Whenever inventory day is, I used to just leave oil alone until after inventory. After Labor Day? You mean President's Day? Maybe. Labor Day's a long ways away. Okay, so that's why oil looks like shit right now. So that's a little trick there. Yeah, whenever oil inventory day is, I wouldn't trade it until, ironically, let the inventory happen, and then about 30 minutes or so after the inventory, you'd be surprised, man. You get some beautiful setups. But I would never trade oil going into the inventory report. I thought they were going to be doing inventory today. But I never trade oil going into the inventory report. Oh, hell no. No. Because it just big traders aren't trading it. And if the sharks aren't in the tank, we don't want to be there. If these guys aren't around, you don't want to be there. Because I count on them doing their thing. I count on them playing their games and stealing people's money. That's how I make money when I'm doing what I do, and it's making money. Man, it's just, stuff's just getting sloppy. It's very sloppy. I mean, RTY just tanked earlier today. Look at that. And there was our trade right there. And just to show you something on this trade as a little bit of confirmation. So this was the RTY trade, but I'm just going to give you an observation. The old comment, support becomes resistance, resistance becomes support. Well, this right here was our low going into this move. Down, up, right to the bottom of the low, and then wham. I mean, Jesus. So it did it did exactly that. It came back and tested support, because that was support earlier, because that's what pushed price up right here. twice, here and here. So it became support. And once they blew through it, it became resistance. Isn't that beautiful? Just beautiful, man. That's just beautiful. That's textbook. That's textbook trading right there. Absolutely textbook. That was honestly, that was the best trade of the day, really. And I got my freaking chart stuck again. Man, I've got to fix these charts later today. That was textbook trading. I'm done. That $230 for the day. I'm done. Between yesterday and today. Between yesterday and today, I'm up a whole whopping I ended at 180 yesterday and 230 today. So what's that? 410 or something? Something like that? Yeah, 410. 410. Jesus. But tomorrow will be better. Well, you want to be in shark infested waters because you got to remember, here's the thing about being in shark infested waters, Nadine. If you're on the back of the shark, you're in the safest place in the ocean. Safest place in the ocean is to be on the back of that shark. That is the safest place in the ocean. So it sounds odd to sit here and say you want to be with the sharks. But the reality of it is, if you're with the sharks on their back, you're in the safest place in the ocean. If you're not with the sharks and you're just swimming around, that shark's going to come and get you. But no shark's going to bite another shark's back to get you. $700 today? Good job. Excellent. What was your main instrument that you made $700 in today? Or did you take, or did you do multiples? Yeah, be on the back of the sharks, man. Because wherever he goes, that's where price is going to go. He's the lead dog. You just want to be with the lead dog. I cannot. That's why I have that one saying where I say I can't make the market make me money. So if the market's not doing stuff, then why am I trading? I can't make the market make me money. NQ? Yeah. I might end up going back to NQ and trading it more with gold being like this, to be honest with you. I'm telling you, NQ has saved my skin a couple times in the last couple weeks because of some situations with gold, and then I just go look at the NQ and go, oh shit, here we go. Oh yeah, there we go. Now I got my $800 back. NQ has it's been easier to trade the NQ after trading gold lately. I'll be right back. Somebody asked to see the cat a few days ago, so here she is. That's Mittens. Yeah. She has, you guys should all feel sorry for her. She has to live with those 2 Boston Terriers. Huh, honey? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, Fish Atlantic, do that. You got my email address, right? Yeah, come here, honey. She's right. She's behind my screen over here. Mitty, Mitty. See, there she is. Sometimes she hangs around on my desk, and I'm not paying attention, and she's typing stuff because she's walking across my screen, my keyboard. Yeah, now she's sitting on the desk behind the screens. Anyways, yeah. She's not scared of GC now. If she knew how many of her cat treats I can't afford if gold goes the wrong way, she'd be scared. It's goldlinetrades@gmail.com. It's in the description of the video too. Goldlinetrades@gmail.com. Let's see here. Let me type it in. There you go. Okay. I think the market is just going into like slow motion mode, because again, we do have the report at 2:00. Gold did have a little inside candle right here. And then out the top of this red line. But matter of fact, so just to put it in perspective, that's $1,000 right there. Right there, that rotation. And we're in the slow part. We're in the slow part. We're in the slow part. So I'm going to, because it's FOMC day and blah, 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 I don't really expect us to do anything. I had very low expectations coming into today.
Unknown caller.
Yeah, just keep calling me, people. I had very low expectations coming into the day, but I did make a little bit of money. I just don't think it's worth sitting around here. What's the minimum distance to breaking points to the left you look for? If you're talking about like breaking this pivot here, one tick. If we push through there one tick and come back and sit here, the sharks are in the tank. They did that on purpose. If you break this pivot right here by one tick and roll over, the sharks are in. I'm going to tell you, the sharks are in the tank. They intentionally ran it through a tick because they know that that's where the amateurs are going to jump in, breakout traders. And they're going to slam them back, take their money, and then rotate it up. I don't know if that's what your question was. Oh yeah, you know what's happened, Patch, is I have been busier than hell the last few days because people are sitting at home because of the ice and the snow and shit. They can't go to work. And so they're calling me, well, we're thinking about building a house in 2 years. We want to ask you a few questions. Oh, ask me the questions in 2 years. In meantime difference, I don't understand. I mean time difference. Time difference. Let me go back. What's the minimum distance to what's the minimum time breakpoints? Oh. There really isn't one. It's just to look and see that something deliberately went this way, which broke a down pivot, that you can recognize a down pivot, for example, and then you have a deliberate pullback from that break. I mean, it's all about feel. And again, that's why I talk about, understanding the person. Jesus, Mittens, she's over here going crazy. Understanding the personality of your instrument, because every instrument has a different personality. I think I lost you guys. Can you hear me? Because my stupid chat thing says that we got disconnected, but I don't think we are. I don't have a minimum time between GL trades. I can tell you that. If I get knocked out of a trade and it's still a good trade, I re-enter, just like I just did right there for $500. It went up, came back down, knocked me out, and it rotated again because my stops are too tight for these candles, and back out the other side I went and got my money. Stop, Mittens. She's going crazy because it's too cold to go outside, so she's playing in the house. She usually goes outside and plays. She's in here freaking having a banana shit. And I got a bird feeder right outside my window, so that's firing her up because she's watching the birds eating. All right, everybody, I'm going to let you go. Don't lose your money, because remember, 2:00 is when the insanity starts. All right? Everybody have a good day. Talk to you later. Bye.